Let's get on with the details of those stories now. It's been almost 2 years, and today the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining has lifted the ban on small-scale mining activities, which was imposed in January 2017. Started Monday, all small-scale miners whose licenses have been vetted and validated will be allowed to begin mining. Now, those who are engaged in illegal mining will now have to go through regularization so they can do so legally, with details of the new mining policy announced as part of the suspension of that ban. And we'll be getting into that shortly. We'll also have in the studio members of, well, two different small-scale mining associations. One is a split of the other. But first, let's bring you a documentary of how the Operation Vanguard began the clampdown. This was put together by JoyNews' Latif Idrisu. Of course, he was adjudged Ghana's Best Mining Reporter 2017. Take a look.
There this morning in the protection of pylons. There you have one Chinese miner running up there, and it's been given a hot chase by the Vanguard team, and he knows his route very well. And there, another dark-skinned man. It's the morning after the raid in Biposo, down in the East District of the Western region. And here, I thought the last place was our last part of call, but it so happens that this place here indeed is the last port of call. And one Chinese and one dark-skinned young man have bolted. They were given a hot chase, but they know the terrain so well. You know, we had 14, so 15, 16, 17 miners have been picked up in Biposo. So let's go inside and see what we have in here. And as usual, I see car batteries, I see gas cylinders, 2 fridges, a standing fan, cooking utensils. I see some crates of eggs, gallons, and I must say the gallons are filled with some kind of oil or fuel, if you like. I see cement bags, and I see lots and lots of mining equipment scattered within the wooden makeshift building situated at Biposo. And now the building is being searched by the police. the investigators who are accompanying the Vanguard team have started their work, and it's starting here at the last port of call where 3 Chinese have been picked up. One of them has so the police, 2 of them who form part of the Operation Vanguard team, have started investigating. In fact, I must say they just picked up 3 casings, and I see one under the bed. So in addition, it will be 4 casings, and now he's being questioned as to where he keeps the weapons, and he's being evasive. He doesn't want to disclose where he keeps his weapon. And I also find a camouflage here. Yeah. Yeah. Not just one, but this is another one. So I find 2 camouflage jackets. This feels heavy. And still in search of the weapon. So this is the black. I can see the black. The black is actually what the miners call it, but it is the gold. The primary source of gold is what we have in this basin. It's filled with the black, and I see a bucket with what looks like a washing machine, and the black is quite a lot in this basin. And so after doing the damage to the environment, they bring it in here, and this is where the washing actually takes place, and finally they are able to extract the pure gold out of it. And in the background you can see the washing is being done, but upon seeing the joint military and police Operation Vanguard team, they've all bolted, abandoning 2 excavators and a washing machine. I see another washing machine up there. So 2 washing machines, 2 excavators, and a pumping machine all have been abandoned here at the mining site. As the demolition is taking place, you can see far above the pits, the townsfolk who have given out their lands to these Chinese miners to be pillaged have converged here and are looking on.
That was put together by Latif Idriso, and Latif is in the studio with me. I'll be engaging Latif shortly, but this is a fight that President Akufo-Addo pledged to put his presidency on the line to win.
You know that the activities that they're involved in are jeopardizing the very survival of our nation. I took the decision that that would be a betrayal of the trust that the Ghanaian people put in me on the 7th of January this year. And as a result, we established this committee within the government to design a policy for us, not just to stop it, to reclaim the land, to let our rivers work again, but also to see how we can figure a way for all these able-bodied young men who are involved in this activity to find an alternative livelihood. So it's a package. It's a package that we have designed to try and bring this menace to a conclusion. I've said it in the cabinet, and perhaps this is the first time I'll be saying it in public. I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said that I should be careful. Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again.
That is President Akufo-Addo when he declared that war on illegal small-scale mining. So has the battle been won? Has the ban has been lifted? That's what we're about to find out in my conversation today from different perspectives. Let's begin with Latif Idrisu here, who put that together, that documentary. Latif, you've been in the thick of affairs as far as, you know, the operations of the Operation Vanguard is concerned, and how for you has it gone?
Yeah, so the fight officially started when the president commissioned the 400-man squad, that is Operation Vanguard team, at the three most ravaged regions. We are talking about the Western, Eastern, and then the Ashanti regions. Officially, that was when the real fight started. But prior to that, there had been announcements by the sector minister then, John Peter Amewu, that all earth-moving equipment should be moved from the various mining sites across the country. That was the start. Then the government came in with the deployment of these 400-man squad to go on the ground and ensure that illegal miners do not come back on the various mining sites. The fight has been mixed with a lot of issues. And what even makes it difficult for the Operation Vanguard team to clear out these illegal miners from the various sites has to do with the fact that there has been a collaboration between residents or locals and foreign nationals. And if you talk of foreign nationals, if you look at the statistics as provided by the Operation Vanguard team, you realize that Chinese nationals are dominant when it's, apart from Ghanaians, if you want to look at the statistics, Chinese nationals dominate. So the locals provide the land for the Chinese nationals and give them cover. So Operation Vanguard comes in and it makes it very difficult for them to, root out these Chinese miners. So for the fight, yes, today the ban has been lifted, but there is still a lot of work to be done on the ground if we really want to see sustainable mining at the various mining sites.
And speaking of which, President Akufo-Addo said the aim is to do three things: to stop it, to reclaim the lands, and to provide alternative livelihood for the people who are involved in illegal small-scale mining. And here we are, looking at 17 December as a date that will lift the ban. You were at this event today that introduced a new mining policy. Tell us a bit more about what transpired at the program, and then we'll look at the content of the policy. So what happened, we had a lot of stakeholders coming together. The interministerial committee, the chair was there, that's Professor Frimpong Boateng. The information minister was there. The sector minister for lands and natural resources, he was present. Small Scale Miners Association of Ghana were there present, and other associations who have also formed their own mining groups. The media coalition against Galamsey were well represented, and everybody took his turn to address the gathering, as it were. Now, coming to the meat of the matter, when they address people, in their speeches, did you get the sense that they were speaking in a way that reflects where we are? Did you feel like they made it, they made it clear that we've actually achieved something?
Yeah, they all made it clear that there is still a lot of grounds for us to cover. Let's look at what the secretary of the Small Scale Miners Association said. He lamented initially that it's been over 20 months they've been at home. The only source of livelihood they have known is small-scale mining. They've had licenses to operate, and then the ban came in. They felt government didn't treat them well, and the fact that whilst they were sitting at home, there were illegal miners who were digging for gold deep in the forest. So they felt they've been shortchanged by government, if you like. So he made it clear to the chair of the interministerial committee about how they feel about the process and the fact that they have been shortchanged. But he also appreciated the fact that finally the ban has been lifted and they can now go back to their various mining sites to, do what they have been doing over the last decades, if you like. When they, also with the deployment of drones, we would need the services of the NAPCO members who have also been deployed to man the various drones that will be monitoring activities of the miners at the various mining sites. A rep from NAPCO also came in to say that, yes, they feel proud that they've been put together a team to help fight the menace, and that they've also received some military training which will help them to deal with the illegal miners if indeed they tend to fight them back when they go about manning the drones across the mining
Let's
region.
hear the small-scale miners. Indeed, we'll be talking to them here on the show. But let's hear them, since Latif has mentioned what they did, their role and their position at today's program. Let's hear them. And then when we come back, we'll look at the content of this policy.
Illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, has been on the increase over the years due to several factors. It has resulted in a lot of environmental issues, including pollution of water bodies, erosion of topsoil, unreclaimed mining pits, etc. To address this challenge, government placed a ban on ASM, which unfortunately affected licensed ASM concession holders. Members of NASIM has been through unwanted hardship for the past 22 months of the ban. However, we have dialogued and supported government to find a lasting solution to the challenges of illegal mining. We have spent over 1 million Ghana cedis as an association to support our task force to clear the river bodies of dredges, popularly known as Chamfan, and arrested several illegal miners. The task force of NASIM is still collaborating with Vanguard to clear our water bodies. In the coming years, the Ghana National Association will deploy a task force both at the national and then the local level to augment government's efforts to continually raid the small-scale mining space of recalcitrant and unpatriotic illegal miners. Just like yesterday, whilst we were preparing to attend this all-important program, some Chinese miners were busily degrading our lands at Ankam in the Mansu area. However, our task force has stopped them and brought them to the interministerial committee to be given to the appropriate agency for further investigation. NASIM will effectively implement our peer review mechanism to promote sustainable mining. We will also identify and register prospective small-scale miners and show the way for them to mine responsibly. And also, we will implement the engineering model that is designed and developed to track the activities of small-scale miners. All members will sign a code of practice agreement. The code of practice, among other things, includes KPIs that will be set for concession, and those KPIs are complying with the buffer distances of mining concession as stipulated by the law to eliminate pollution of our river bodies and streams. Compliance with all regulations like the taxation, proper law keeping to ensure good accountability.
That's Gordon Ama. He's the secretary to the Association of Small-Scale Miners. Latif, you're still here. Now let's get to the content. Does it address what President Akufo-Addo intended to achieve with this ban? Stop, reclaim, provide alternative livelihood.
Stop. We all know it has not stopped. He just mentioned that yesterday, just yesterday, some Chinese miners were arrested in one of the regions. So stop. There is still a lot of grounds to be covered. The next one, reclaim
the land.
Now, I remember we went to Chebi, the president's hometown.
Now, what I want us to do is to stick to the content of the new policy, the policy which is part of the lifting of the ban. Does it address these?
So reclamation is still ongoing. We've not been able to reclaim all the mining sites that have been degraded by illegal miners. So reclamation, still a lot of grounds to be covered.
So in this policy that they announced at the program today, does it address going forward, now that we're lifting the ban, does it address how we're going to reclaim whilst allowing illegal small-scale mining to continue? Does it address it?
It addresses that.
Okay, what does
and
it say?
Is clear,
Do we know?
and I would like us to go through some of the recommendations.
Well. Okay, let's go.
And these are not just recommendations. These are recommendations that have been approved by cabinet.
Okay.
So one of the recommendations by the Interministerial Committee is to halt operation or acts of large-scale miners who give away part of their concessions to small-scale miners.
Okay.
So you have large-scale mining companies, they have their concessions, then they give part of their concession to small-scale miners or galamseyers.
Okay.
Now
and
these
take money
individuals,
from them.
exactly, they do not comply with the regulation, so they go about degrading the land at the blind side of those who gave out the concession to them. So they are now going to halt the operation whereby you can acquire huge tracts of land. So a cap is going to be placed on it to make it
on how much
reasonable.
Someone can
acquire as concession.
How much land or how much concession an individual can acquire. Very well.
Then two, the system is now going to abolish the system where business people acquire huge tracts of concession. We just mentioned that one. Abolish the practice of bulk sampling where miners use prospecting permits to mine. So if you have prospecting license, you only do prospecting. You do not go about. And by
prospecting, you're just looking around to find out if there is gold here. If there is gold here. Exactly. So there is a license for prospecting, and then there is a license for mining.
So now strict measures are going to be put in place to ensure that if you have prospecting license, you do not mine. Then we also go to number 4, which also looks to amend laws that allow foreign companies to provide mining services to small-scale miners. Now, we all know how the Chinese miners have been in the thick of affairs when it comes to illegal mining across the country. They provide some form of technologies to the locals. Now, this new policy or part of the recommendation is to abolish or amend laws that allows for foreign firms to provide mining services to small-scale miners. Number 5 on the recommendation has to do with the ban on the fabrication and transportation and use of dredging mining equipment on the riverbeds. So that we are going to ban the fabrication in itself to start with. And then the transportation.
That's a
chamfang machine. You're right.
Okay. Because in 2013, was it 2000? Yeah, I think in 2013 I did some work on galamsey, and we had gone to Swami Magazine in Kumasi. It is a hub of production for the chamfang. So government is saying that in this new policy, they're going to ban the production of this chamfang. And so are they? Did they speak of how it is going to happen? Because it's not just done in Abosokai. Swami Magazine in Kumasi. There's several other places where they produce them. Did it say?
No part of it captures how they are going to track them down to ensure they do not fabricate or manufacture these chamfang machines.
But bottom line is that it is going to be illegal to produce
chamfang machine. Then,
sounds interesting.
Yeah. Then we are also looking at establishing a regime to legalize communal mining. You know, the galamseyers, that's the illegal miners in the various mining communities. What government or this new policy seeks to do is to bring them together as a unit. So they give you a concession, then as a group you go there and mine.
Because if I live in a place and behind my window there is gold, and you tell me not to mine that gold behind my window, that's going to be very difficult. And that has been one of the issues for the fight against illegal mining. So now they're putting people together.
Exactly.
And then they regularize their
activities. Regularize them and allow them to mine in a much more regulated manner. So these are but some of the most important recommendations as captured in the recommendation put forward by the Interministerial Committee. There are also reforms.
Quickly, let's go through them and wrap up.
So the reforms, now we are going to have a closer collaboration between the Geological Survey Department and the Minerals Commission. So that we are now going to have more boots on the ground from the Minerals Commission to deter illegal miners, if you like. That is essentially what that very reform seeks to achieve. Then you just mentioned alternative livelihood. So now government is going to pay much attention to alternative livelihood programs.
Now, if government says, if that's what, is that what government says, or did they provide details as to how the livelihood?
This is one of, it's already in place.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we already have programs running about alternative livelihoods where people grow or plant.
Okay, so that's ongoing.
It's ongoing.
And it's a part of the reforms listed in the new policy.
The new policy, exactly.
Okay, let's wrap up.
Yeah. So then UMAT and then the Lands Ministry and the Environment Ministry also undertake nationwide tours to sensitize people on how direct smelting of gold concentrate is done. Okay. So they do it also responsibly in a much more sustainable manner.
That would be very good to save our water bodies. Latif Idris, Latif, thank you very much and congratulations on that award. He was adjudged Ghana's Best Mining Reporter 2017. Now let's listen to the chairperson of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Kobna Frimpong Boateng, speaking at the outdooring of this new policy.
Let me say what the meaning of lifting of the ban is. You say you are going to lift the ban, what do we mean? Lifting of the ban will allow mining companies with valid company registration certificates, valid permits and licenses from the regulatory authorities, Minerals Commission, EPA, and Water Resources Commission, tax identification numbers, companies who have had their mining equipment licensed and electronically tagged by DVLA, and whose concessions have been vetted and given a QR code to go back to work. Mining equipment, especially excavators and bulldozers that have not been licensed by DVLA and tagged with electronic devices will not be permitted for mining purposes, small-scale mining purposes. All mining companies are expected to have at least one person that has been trained in sustainable mining in Takwa. This is very important. Having said what the ban means, let me say what the ban does not mean. The lifting of the ban does not mean that the ban on Galamsey has been lifted and that they can go back to work. Galamsey is still illegal. So-called Galamseyers have been trained at UMAT and organized into community mining groups. Lifting of the ban does not mean that foreign miners who are hiding in Ghana or who escape to neighboring countries can come and continue their illegal activities. It does not mean security operations to enforce compliance with mining regulations and approved practices will be discontinued. Lifting of the ban does not mean that there will be no monitoring. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that our President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has demonstrated the political will to sanitize, regularize, and reform the small-scale mining sector. The Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining embarked on a program to systematically reform the sector and at the same time preserve the integrity of the environment. Miners who out of ignorance might have done the wrong thing have been given the opportunity to receive proper training at UMAT in sustainable small-scale mining operations. Individuals who wanted to stop mining altogether were afforded training in alternative livelihood trades. There has been adequate education of miners, chiefs, and religious leaders, opinion leaders, and the general population. All registered small-scale miners were given the opportunity to appear before a vetting committee to have their documents regularized. The ban on small-scale mining is being lifted for the compliant ones to go back to work within the regularized and reformed framework. The list of compliant miners will be published in the electronic media electronic and print media on Monday, the 17th of December, 2018. This information will be made available on all the notice boards of the municipal and district assemblies. Unregistered or illegal miners who were referred to as galamseyers are being organized into community mining cooperatives and provided with concessions to work on legitimately under the supervision of the district committees. There should therefore be no logical reason why any person in Ghana should engage in illegal mining. Having successfully implemented the strategies outlined in the roadmap, the ban on small-scale mining is being lifted as from Monday, 17 December, for miners who have gone through vetting successfully to go back to work within the regularized and reformed framework.
Professor from Watson there. I'll take a very quick break. When I return, I have in studio the Miners Association, representative of the Miners Association. Will have this conversation. As President Akufo-Addo achieved what he wanted to achieve with the ban on mining, on illegal mining. And going forward, what are the expectations? What do they even know? How do they understand the new policy? Stay with me. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. I've got two people to have engaged in this conversation. Unfortunately, one of them was not able to make it to the studio, but I have here Ernest Uswansa, who is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Small Scale Miners Association. Mr. Uswansa, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for your time. But also joining us on the line will be the Michael Kwejo-Pripra, who is the President of the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association. So we have this conversation. Were you at the program today?
Yeah, I was there.
You were at the program today. Okay. And what do you make of the fact that the ban is being lifted, and it's been lifted on Monday?
First of all, let me just send my greetings to all the small scale miners. Today we are happy that we are going back to work. So,
so how are you going to start work? The last time I spoke to the association, I think that must be the Concerned Association, they said that now you have to organize your equipment, and that's going to take you another 1 month.
Yeah, we have to organize equipment, all the equipment. We have to send it to the. We have a team already. That's a DVLA, and that they are coming to give us a tag on the excavator.
Okay, so the DVLA is now going to begin fixing
those tracking and the tag.
Okay. And then you have a tag as well.
A tag as well.
Okay.
So that we can send it to the site.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
How soon will you be able to recoup everything that you have lost? I mean, it's been what, 2 years?
2 years now.
How can you quantify how much you have lost?
I hope
can you put a figure to it?
It's a lot of money.
Like how much?
It's about.
I mean, in 2 years, you would have made how much if the business was to go ongoing?
I would have made like $2 to $3 million.
Wait.
Yeah.
$2 to $3 million?
Yeah, you can still make it, and that will be because
in 2 years.
In 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Because sometimes you are buying for you are working day and night here and there, so you are paying a lot of money to the people, and then when at the end of the year you can assess that this is the amount of money that I'm getting. Yeah, you make.
So $2 to $3 million, that would be your profit, or that would be how much you would have made plus
those
expenses.
Expenses, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You pay all the workers here and there, so maybe you can make a small chop.
So your profits will be in a range of what? Say $1 million?
No, that maybe it could be maybe
500,000.
Maybe 300,000.
Maybe $300,000.
Maybe 2 years that you have been.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. So what you're wearing right now, is that gold?
Yeah, that's good.
That's gold.
Yeah, that's good. Do you like it?
I mean, what you have on your neck is gold.
It's gold.
So this one will cost about how much?
This one?
Yes.
It's going to cost maybe $50,000.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
So really, this business is is a wealthy business? I mean, there's a lot of money in this business.
There's a lot of money and there's a lot of problems.
Because
you
at the end of the
you can even lose your life.
You can even lose your life. But then it's because there is so much money. That's why people are damning the consequences and they are destroying the environment, which is why this ban became necessary in the first place.
Yeah, of course.
So now that it's been lifted, tell me, what's your plan to make sure that you're making your money, but at the end of the day, you're still keeping the environment safe?
Yeah, my plan is that now we have been in the school, the training. So now I've seen all my things that I need to do in the site. At first, I was doing differently, but now I've gone to the school, I'm trained, and I've passed through all the necessary processes that I need to pass. So everything is okay for me.
Okay, let me bring in Michael Kwejo Pepra, who's the president of the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association. He's joining us by phone. Mr. Pepra, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I have here in
my
this.
dear sister, the pleasure is mine.
Right, I have here in the studio. I believe must have been your former colleague. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's
your brother. So let's just make it clear. There is the Small Scale Association, the Small Scale Miners Association, and then the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association. The Concerned Small Scale Miners Association is a breakaway from the Small Scale Miners Association, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So today were you at the program?
We followed it with due process.
What do you mean? You were not invited?
Oh, no, really. We were invited, but honestly speaking, we had some other things to take care of because we had some engagements with other members in other regions. So
but
some of our members were in Accra, and some of us were also doing other things.
So the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association was not represented at an all-important meeting that lifted the ban.
We were presented. My vice president was around. My secretary was around as well.
Okay. What do you make of it? The fact that the ban is finally, and I spoke to you, I think about 2 weeks ago, you indicated that you knew for a fact that it was going to be lifted this week. It's been lifted next week anyway, but it's still closed. What do you make of it?
I think first and foremost, we should just thank the government for at least lifting the ban after the 2-year ban placement on small scale mining. It's been a hard time for us, and it's been a lesson well learned for all small scale miners. And I don't think that the problems that we faced or what we caused in the beginning that brought about the ban will continue. But we will see a change, and small scale mining will be done in a way that wouldn't destroy the environment and the water body.
Okay. I was just having a chat with your colleague again here, Ernest, about what is going to change. How different are you going to go about your activities now that the ban has been lifted after 2 years of loss?
I think there's going to be a lot of change, because at first the problem that we were faced with was monitoring. Because if you should get your license from Accra, Minerals Commission will be in Accra, EPA will be in Accra, school lands will be in Accra, and at the end of the day, you take your license and you go to the various villages or the district without any proper monitoring. You don't expect a holy job done. And that brought about these illegal activities and people just flouting the law and doing whatever they want to do. But the government has assured us that at least he has demonstrated enough goodwill for the fight against Galamsey by bringing the Vanguard, by bringing the drones, by making sure small-scale miners have been trained in Takwa School of Mines. And in so doing that, I think we've learned a lot.
Okay.
And now going to the field, things will be done right than before.
Okay. I'm going to engage both of you on the new policy. And I don't know how much of that you have heard. Mr. Pepra, have you heard a lot about it, the new policy?
Yeah. I heard everything.
Okay.
And I've gone through it. But almost 90% of the new framework for the policy they are trying to enroll it was something that is in the constitution already. It's something that is part
It's nothing
of
new. For you, it's nothing new.
It's nothing new because one, with the ban on the mercury, I think that's the only thing that was new, that the government wants to take it to Parliament for a new amendment. Because even in the Constitution, the two Constitution on mining, the Mining Act states that somebody who has this requisite license can purchase a mercury of a gram in order to mine. So if government wants to ban the mercury, I think that is the only new thing that we had in the framework. But aside that, with the miners getting their license, the EPA and all the requisite documents, something that is already in existence, and something like training the miners is something that we've been doing. We've gone through the necessary schools with UMAT. We have an MOU with UMAT. It's something that we've been doing periodically. I think something that government also brought on board is with the monitoring or using the drones to make sure they use it in fighting galamsey. It's something that we have been saying we've left on, and it has caused us a lot of damage. So if government is in its quest to fight galamsey, we introduce all these things. That is the only new thing. But aside that, all those things we have been talking about with the monitoring, because there are jobs that needs to be done with the monitoring agency. What is the job of the EPA? What is the job of the Minerals Commission? What is the job of the dissect? They need to make sure we enforce the already existing law. And that is what I think the government is trying to do. But for me, in my aspect or in my view, I think it's something that is already in existence. But we only lack the will to enforce
to implement them. Let me come to you, Ernest. Okay. Do you share in the sentiments that Mr. Pripra?
I share because EPA people are there at first. When you are in the site, EPA people doesn't come to the site.
Okay.
To come and do to come and inspect you whether what you are doing is correct or not.
Okay.
But now the government needs to involve them.
But what he's saying is that the EPA already, he's seen the policy, he's read it. Already the EPA, it's part of the constitution, it's part of the laws that govern the work that you do. Yeah. But already the EPA should be a part, but they've never been a part. Speaking of which, again, there's a ban on the manufacturing of champagne. Which do you use champagne on your?
No, I don't use champagne. I don't use champagne.
The ban on champagne, honestly, is something that baffles us because champagne machines, you can use it in generating light. Okay, you can use champagne in people.
But people are abusing it, and so the government has
abuse of champagne, or maybe people using it in mining at the belly of the river is banned. That's something that maybe we understand, but banning champagne as a whole is something that I don't really understand what the government meant by that.
Did you find out from those who gave you?
Yeah, but the clarification we got was that people use champagne to manufacture that dredging machine.
Yeah.
They use in mining on the water body. So that is one thing they have banned. The use of champagne on. But champagne has a very good positive side that people use it for. Because people can even use it in their motorbikes in the village.
So you are not for the ban on the production of champagne or the manufacture of champagne?
You can't, if government wants to ban it, it means you should ban the importation of champagne.
But the champagne, they're made, no, they're made here.
Champagne?
Yes.
No. Champagne
they're not made here. But is it different? Is it different from what's on? Is it different from what you put on the riverbed? Because I know some are manufactured at Swami Magazine.
No. What we are trying to say, the champagne itself is a Chinese word. Okay. It's like
so that's the engine, right?
That is it. So you can't ban the engine, but you can ban what the make of it. Maybe somebody will modify it to manufacture a dredging boat. Then maybe you can ban a champagne dredging boat. You get what I'm saying? Because people use it in milling corn and all those things. So can they tell us that people who are going to use it in milling corn and
so I guess I would need some clarification from government as to whether or not there is a ban on the importation of champagne or the production of the what you call what they put on the river. Yeah. So okay, so it's more of the machine. But do you have an English word for that?
Yes. We made it. It's a local made name that we the managers have given it to. And the name
is
It makes the noise that he makes in the river.
Yes, I know, but so there's no name for it. So we need some clarification on government concerning the ban on champagne, whether or not is the ban on importation of champagne or the manufacturing of what you use on the river. What you use on the water bodies. Okay. And how are the associations now? There is small scale association, there is concerned small scale association. If you guys seem to understand each other, you seem to share similar sentiments, so why are you not working together? Isn't that something we need to make sure that we regularize, the work you do to save our environment?
My sister, we have almost everything in common. But, when the fight came, we had to divide ourselves. We need to make sure we fight from all angles. So, concerned Ghana National, we are all the same. Just that when the fight came, we had to make sure that, we give government enough pressure. We need to make sure that we explain our case for Ghanaians to understand that the problem of Galamsey wasn't caused by small-scale mining, and that is what we intended to do.
And the Small-Scale Miners Association couldn't do that as part of the Small-Scale Miners Association?
They were much more with a gentle approach, dialoguing approach.
Okay, so you are more like self-governance now, and they are like self-governance in the shortest possible time.
Yes.
What do you say to this? What do you say to those who say, why don't you come together, be a stronger force, and make sure that you help the government fight illegal small-scale mining, you help the government fight the influx of Chinese people who are being fronted by Ghanaians?
I think it's something that we...
Mr. Ripa, let us speak on this, and then I'll come to you.
We just ask people to come back to small-scale. Do you understand? So that we can stop all this kind of fight between concern and then the small scale. We are all one. We are all doing the same job. Do you understand? So now what we need to do now, we need to fight one goal. One goal means we need to achieve our aim.
Okay.
Do you understand? That's what we need to do. So there's.
But you looked on and they left. I mean, you were doing something that they didn't like. I'm sure they must have spoken about it, but you allowed them to go.
It was somebody he wants to be a chairman. Someone wants to be.
So that's what this is all about.
That is all. So that is all.
So Mr. Pipra, NSTA is saying that they would love to have you back together so that you form a stronger coalition that can help governments fight illegal small-scale mining and to protect our environment.
I think, my sister, whatever they are saying, we've heard it and we take it in good faith. But some of us, we believe in truthfulness and accountability. And for an association, today we are talking about election of the bank, but I don't really want us to indulge in the association aspect. Because
I'm just asking because we don't need to go into it so much. I'm asking because
now there is nothing like an association executives for the national, because there are times the duration that we voted for them was for 3 years.
He says there is an association.
No, I'm just trying to clarify issues. Okay. And their time has expired for 4 years now. 7 years into being that we went to elect our leaders before. I think they were given 3 years to run the association, and after the 3 years, we were supposed to have an election, and after the 3 years, they didn't come so that they will give us an account of whatever they have done for the small-scale miners. And we are getting to 7 years now. So 4 years after they have time in office as a spy, they still call themselves an executive.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on from that part of the conversation, because I see that it will push us into a different part of the conversation. I was just looking at how. Now that the ban,
it's not an issue.
I was looking at now that the ban has been lifted, how you can work together to help government achieve the aim that it wants to achieve with this policy. But in the policy, there's also a thing about the alternative livelihood program. You are on the ground. You two are on the ground. I'm starting with you, Ernest. Ernest, what do you see on the ground? Has government been able to implement or roll out the alternative livelihood programs that they promised the illegal small-scale miners? Do you see that happening?
First of all, I was at the Dunkwa, and the deputy minister, they were having this thing, the tree planting.
Okay.
Planting over there. So he employed a lot of those people who had no job for them for the 3-day small-scale miners.
But you know there's illegal small-scale miners. This is your area. You know them, right?
I know them.
You know them.
Yeah, I know
Did you get the sense that the people that you know, Kwame Kwejo, Efia, that these people that I know to be illegal small-scale miners, you saw that they have been employed, or that they've been given the alternative livelihood program, that they've been given tree planting exercises, they're being paid. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You saw that?
I saw that. I said that.
Or are you saying that because people say you are pro-government?
No.
They say the association, they say the small-scale, not the consent, the small-scale miners association is pro-government. Or did you really see?
Yeah, I see that. But I was there myself.
You were there yourself.
I was there myself.
Okay. And you get the sense that it is enough payment for them. You just told me how much you would have made in 2 years. $2 million.
You know, let me tell you.
$2 to $3 million.
Let me tell you this. I'm using excavator. I have a lot of equipment in my site that I'm working. Do you understand? Even maybe I have more than 2 sites that I'm working. Okay. So you don't expect me, the person that is working for me, will get the same amount of money that he's going to get. I'm the boss. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Okay, but you are the boss, and the people that you employ, they also make money.
They make money. I give them money. I pay them.
Do they make the same money as the tree planting is making? The people who are planting trees are making?
They are not going to make it that way, but you take it like that.
Are they taking it like that? Yes. Did you talk to them?
Yeah, I talked to them. Because there's nothing. Even that I'm the boss, I'm in the house. I'm not doing anything.
But they're happy to plant tree and not continue with the mining?
Yeah. Now the government have brought this community mining to the...
which is part of the new policy.
New policy, the community mining. So those people, they don't have their concession, need to go to their district office. For maybe we have different districts, maybe Dunkwao, Seta, Greater Accra, Kumasi chapter. You need to go there, go and register. Okay. So that the government is going to provide for you a land and then the money for you to go and work.
So for the people who go, they call it kuli. For those who do the kuli in the small communities, and you find small land and then you go searching for gold. They can come together and then go and then register.
You need to go and register first.
At the district assembly.
Yeah, you need to go and register. Maybe not that we have some in the district assembly. Okay. And then the association also register 8 members. Okay. Yeah, before you go there, you need to have a TIN number and then a company before you can go and register. Okay. So,
Mr. Pepper, I'm coming to you with the same question. I've heard Ernest's point of view about what he's seeing on the ground as far as alternative livelihood interventions put in place by government is concerned. What do you see?
First of all, for me, in my point of view, I know that government has launched a roll up the alternative livelihood project or program, but for what I know, we have not seen any miner who earned maybe $1 million or 500,000 put down his tools to engage in planting for foods and jobs.
Are you saying you have not seen any such thing, or you're saying that you don't envisage?
I have not. And I want to be candid on your program. I have not.
Okay. So
maybe I'm yet to see any of my members or any of my friends who are planting now.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you know the government has rolled out the plan, but you have not seen any beneficiary. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. From my point of view, I've not, or none of my friends have come out to tell me.
Not even one.
Now,
I should go to Dukwao.
Not even one.
Oh no, not even one.
NSTS says you should go to Dunkwao. He says it's
something. Maybe because maybe NS is working in Dunkwao. He knows some of those people who are Now, that is why I said, in my opinion.
Okay, but so you don't work around Dunkwao?
Sorry?
You don't work around Dunkwao?
Yeah, I don't work around. But I know almost all the miners in Dunkwao. They also know me as well. But to know or to pinpoint one person that I know is a problem. I want to be candid. I don't want to say something that I don't know.
Okay, very well. I'll wrap up so we'll look at what your expectations are going forward. Now, one of the things that President Akufo-Addo had indicated was we needed to see the water bodies clear up. That we should come to a point where the water bodies that, I mean, some of your members or your people, let's say the illegal miners have destroyed, that we should be able to drink from those same rivers. I don't think that has happened at the moment, but how do you think we can deal with this problem now, especially now that the ban has been lifted going forward? How do we achieve clarity of our water bodies? Mr. Pepper?
Okay, I think it's something that we've been...
Hello? Looks like we've lost Mr. Pepper there, but let me throw the same question to you, Ernest. What do we do to clear the water bodies that are... You've seen the way the water bodies look like. How do we clear it up? Because even before we finish clearing it up, the ban has been lifted, which means you can go back to work.
That's it.
What do we do going forward?
Now we shouldn't go back to the water bodies anymore. And we have the buffer zone have some meters. I think it's about 200 meters that the government has given to the small-scale miners, every small-scale miner. Okay. That you shouldn't go beyond the water.
Okay.
So that is why we are.
And do you have a way as an association of regulating the way?
Yeah. We have told all our members. We just said to them that this is a situation that no one should get into there.
Usually when you tell them things, do they just do it, or do you need to enforce it, like have people who are monitoring to make sure that they do?
We have task force there.
Okay. We
have small scale task force there. They also see to it that the law have been implemented to the people.
Okay. They've also said that they're going to stop the practice where people buy huge concessions and then they sublet, they give some out to others. Right. Is that something that happens often in this area? Do people do that a lot? Do you sell off some of your concessions?
No, I don't sell no.
You don't sell? No. So is this something that happens a lot? And if government stops that, will it help?
Yeah, of course it's going to help. It's going to help so that one man can have maybe 6 or 7 concessions. Meanwhile, the brother doesn't have any concession to work on. That lead to the galamsey.
Okay.
I get it, because if the person doesn't have land to work, he will force himself to go somewhere that you need to go and work over there.
I see.
Yes,
Mr. Pepper, do I still have you, or have I lost you? Looks like we've lost him completely. Well, let's bring the conversation to an end. Let me take your final comments.
My final comment that today we are happy. All the small scale miners, we are happy. Those people, they are invited. We are going back to work. We thank God. Well, what God has done for us. So.
You're going back to work to make $2 million.
We are going to make it more.
You're going to make more?
Yeah, we are going to make more.
Interesting. Well, whilst you're artists, let's make sure that our water bodies are protected and that the influx of foreign nationals, especially in this space, because at the end of the day, they are destroying the land for you. They go back to their country and build their countries with the money, the profits that they make, and they leave your country. Your children, your children's children, my children, my children's children.
No food, nothing for me. And the Chinese people are working in the site.
That's because you people are in the, it's your area. You see them, you know them.
But you see them, what are you going to do? Because they will tell you that this big man, this and that protocol here, madam, we are having a lot of problems.
You're having a lot of problems.
Yes.
So even now that the ban has been lifted, going forward, you still foresee that you will deal with these problems?
No, of course. That's what I've told a lot of miners, that when you see any Chinese man working beside you, report him to the police. Straight.
No, but you can't just report Chinese men just because he's a Chinese man. Or you mean Chinese? You mean a Chinese man walking?
Yeah, that's that's maybe.
Or working.
Working in beside you in the side there. Beside, maybe if you are working in a site and another you are the Ghanaian.
But the Chinese also, they also have the opportunity to work legally, right?
They don't have.
They don't have the chance to work legally?
No. They don't have, because the small scale belongs to only Ghanaians.
Only Ghanaians.
Yes.
Okay, but Ghanaians can. That's what they do. They front for them.
If Chinese man want to work, the Chinese man should go back to large scale.
Oh, okay.
The large scale
they
permit.
Can only do large scale.
The large scale. But we the Ghanaians, only the small scale is for the Ghanaians.
So you've advised your members that if you find any Chinese person working in small scale mining, you should report them.
You should report the person to the police.
You trust that they will report them?
Of course, they are going to do that.
Okay. It's been an interesting conversation, but the point is, the bottom line is that we need to protect our water bodies. We need to protect our environment, our lands, our forests, our forest reserves, and this, the lifting up of the ban is coming at a very crucial point where recently we've seen a wave of illegal small-scale mining activities. We've seen some of them even attacking the Operation Vanguard team. Some of them have accused them of corruption, etc. We need to win this fight here in this country. I've been having this conversation with Ernest Owusu-Ansah. He's a Greater Accra Regional Chairman for Small Scale Miners Association, but also Michael Kwejo-Pipra, who is the president of the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association, join us over the lines. Mr. Owusu-Ansah, thank you very much for coming once again. Yeah.